Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video I wanted to show you the updated arena defense I'm running, which was inspired heavily by some of the top rankers in the server over here, mainly Blue Villain, because I want to talk about first of all his kind of rise to rank 2. At the beginning of this week, I'm pretty sure he was in rank 5 position, or at the end of last week at least, he was in rank 5. He's now risen up to rank 2, and not only just barely at rank 2, he's quite significantly ahead of all of the other players here. And it is after he changed up his defense lineup, and that must have been getting quite good success for him. I've also tried different common popular teams attacking him, and it is holding up really well. And keep in mind also that on this account we have a Paragon advantage, and if his defense is holding up even despite the Paragon advantage against common teams, then that means that this is a really actual solid defense. So here's a defense. It looks simple enough. So basically it's going to be using the same sort of Freestro, Damien, Taylene, Lily May core combo, which we've seen even before. This was one of the older defenses I was running. But basically, rather than running Tassi as more like stall and solo potential at the end, you're going to run Bonnie to provide the debuffs onto the enemy and also deal that damage right from the beginning of the match. Damien is here for the healing, so the team still has a lot of survivability, and Taylene is right in the front position so that she will take the aggro and she can resurrect herself if needed, or Damien, by the time he spawns his Toy Chariot, Taylene would probably still be alive, and then she'll just be healed up by the Damien. And there won't be any issue, and actually it would just be even better for the Taylene because it would give her some energy generation from all of the loss of health. You have the power renewal onto the main Freestro so that if he goes down, he will be able to resurrect himself after it is fully stacked. And you have Lily May. Now the thing is, and I'm going to show you guys some replays, basically, as if you watched my previous arena testing video of Citrana Bonnie on offense, in the end of it, we were theory crafting a defense, and I came up with a pretty good one. However, the thing is, if you don't run Lily May on defense, or if you don't run Dunlinger on defense, I guess, the opponent will be able to bring Iron Elmis into you, and they're probably going to nuke you. There's not really, basically, if you don't have Lily May, the power of the lockdown of Iron Elmis, along with other hard-hitting nukers like Prissa, Bonnie as well, especially now because Bonnie's then debuff spread rapidly, the opponent is not able to compete. So you have to run Lily May basically in your formation, unless you're running Dunlinger, and I don't really think Dunlinger is a top PvP hero, in my experience at least. I feel like Lily May, and also Lily May is more relatable. Almost everyone has Lily May on their account. So that is basically the thing. Okay, and as for this team, now Damien is your healer. His healing is maybe not as high as Ludovic, and especially at the beginning of the match, it is not going to be as high. But you have enough protection and tankiness that your team will be able to survive up until Damien begins being able to heal. And your team is all grouped up in a really nice position, as you can see here. And Damien is going to be able to perfectly heal and provide them with the haste buff. That is the other advantage about running this specific team formation on this map. And then you have Confining Spell for more lockdown and a long, because this is going to be more of a long drawn out fight. This is not like a nuking team with Diurnal. And so you're going to want Confining Spell because that gets value over time as the match goes on longer and longer. As for who gets the Crimson Contract energy, I think Lily May is the better option here because then she can cycle her ultimate to interrupt more enemies. Also, I think the damage reduction is more needed onto Bonnie from the Freestro Illusion because Bonnie, I think, doesn't have as much survivability as Lily May. Lily May can cast her Rainstorm Ballet, and that is 5 or 6 seconds of untargetability, whereas Bonnie can only cast her Nightfall Shift, and that is only 1 second of untargetability and then reposition. So that is why I think the damage reduction is better utilized onto Bonnie. And of course, Freestro on the same row to get more shield to start the match and also the defenses. So this is a really solid team. And honestly speaking, I really can't think of a team which is going to do better than this. The only thing you could consider is maybe Ludovic rather than Damien. But the thing about Damien is that he can just respawn himself. And so he does, to an extent, counter enemy debuffing comps. Because even though they can debuff Damien, he will be able to respawn his chariot. Just like with Taylene, she can resurrect herself and dispel the debuffs. The other thing is Damien is more offensive. because Damien has the haste buff to increase, like, for example, the number of times you can cast Rainstorm Ballet and the damage from all of your heroes. So I think Damien is the better choice. However, Ludovic also is really good. Now, before we take a look at any replays, I want to show you another team version, which is just almost exactly the same, but Ludovic, basically, and then, you're still going to run Bonnie, and then Bonnie as well. This is another great team you can run. However, it doesn't have Lily May. And so our third ranker of our server is running this team. And I think this has so much healing. Like, you can't imagine how much healing it has. But the thing is, it is still clearable by Iron Almas, because even if you have Ludovic, even if you have Damien both together, even if you have Chaylene who can resurrect herself, Iron Almas is very oppressive, and if the opponent cannot interrupt you, you're gonna lock them down, you're gonna kill the Fresco and the Illusion, you're gonna kill the Bonnie, and probably eventually kill the Ludovic as well. So that is basically the reason why I do not think that is the best defense option, and instead the version with Lily May is probably the best. And I can't think of any better heroes here. Like Chaylene, she deals good damage, she has a survivability by resurrecting herself, she can dispel her debuffs. Fresco as well is really good. Because he's really tanky, especially when positioned on the same row at the beginning of the match, and then Damien to respawn himself. So this is a really solid team. Honestly, I don't know how you break it consistently. Like, probably what will end up happening is people try Harok teams or Rainier Harok teams that quickly kill the Bonnie. Like, normally when you run a team like this, that is like the game plan of how you counter it, because when people were running like Lily May, Chaylene, and Tassi teams, they were countered by Harok. And I don't know whether Harok is going to be able to counter this defense. However, yeah, I think this is maybe getting closest to a defense which is as little counterable as possible. The problem is, as of right now, because of all the options you have for offense, defense is kind of always, you can always figure out a way of countering a lot of defenses, even if they are Paragon tiers above you. People have managed to do that. Okay, now before we even take a look at this new team, I want to show you my old team formation, because this was doing well. Basically, my plan was to somehow incorporate Satrana and Bonnie onto defense without it being counterable by, like, Iron Almas. However, I was not able to do it. I put the Lightning Spell onto Bonnie in the back. I positioned on a different arena map, as you can see here. I had the Ludovic for the healing at the beginning of the match, and you have a lot of healing, but the power of Iron Almas is just too great. That even with all of that healing, you have all of these debuffs, like, because Iron is going to help stack the debuff of Bonnie even further. My whole team is debuffed, it's spread to everyone, and then Pris is just sitting in the back here nuking. And if you guys are going to go for Lorson, then you could use Lorson rather than Prissa as well, and they would fulfill basically the same criteria. And with the Satrana as well, like, basically just massively debuffing my team, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that is why I think you just have to run the Lily May on defense, or Dunlinger, like I said. But yeah, I prefer to run Lily May rather than Dunlinger. Okay, so that was how that team was broken through. Now I'm going to take a look at some different attacks against the Lily May team. And I attacked it, first of all, with the team I showed you, the Satrana Bonnie team with Tassi as your tank, rather than Fresco. And, it managed to defend against this, even at 2 Paragon tiers down, and actually even 3 Paragon tiers down on the Fresco, which is really impressive. So let's take a look at this. Maybe my positioning wasn't optimal. However, I was honestly really impressed that this team was able to stand up and able to beat this, because this is a very strong offense, at least to be used in Arena Map 3. Maybe it doesn't work as well for this specific arena map, but it is pretty crazy, because the whole idea behind this comp, by the way, is that your Tassi will solo after you debuff the entire enemy team, but my Tassi was just permanently getting procced of her invincibility or just getting killed at the end, and so I didn't have any potential to solo. The other team that it defended against was, I was just trying some different team versions. Basically, I wanted to figure out a defense, and the way that I try to figure out defenses is I try them on offense first. So I was thinking, would it be possible to just forget about Fresco in your defense lineup? But I think not. The Fresco is important because the tankiness he provides is really good. Like, he walls off your team, and that buys you time. Also, the Frescos deal decent damage. They have the haste debuff with their paralyzing venom, and then they also have the Crimson Contract buff for your allies behind them. So that is why Fresto is kind of just really important in a meta defense. Okay, but now we're going to talk about how did I break through it. So what I decided to do was, if the opponent is running Lily May, then that is a time where you can bring out Citrana if you wanted to, but because you basically have a flex slot. Because you can mirror match the opponent's Lily May team and just run, rather than the Lily May, run like Citrana if you're running a Bonnie comp, or run like another healer like we have Ludovic here. That is, or run like Harak. Basically, that is why Lily May is not the strongest defense option anymore, because she counters the Iron comp. But for the other teams, it allows you to run a hero which might overall make your team more effective than the Lily May version of it, and otherwise mirror match it. Now, the opponent was able to hold on really well here, because, like, look at this. Lily May did go down here a little bit early on, but, oh no, she's still alive. Lily May was in range from Ballet, so this is crazy. Bonnie went down, but Lily May survived really well against this team. But basically, there was no chance. But do keep in mind, this is a big Paragon difference as well, but this is kind of the issue. I think even on equal Paragon tier, when the opponent is running Lily May, their overall team's like synergy and functionality is a little bit lower. And if you put a more functional hero into that position where Lily May was, you will be able to maybe clear them on when you're attacking them. So that is the thing. No defense is going to be able to fully counter everything. But if you're going to run a defense, you should at least not let it be Iron Almas nuked. And so you'll have to incorporate Lily May. Because as of right now, this defense will not be clearable by Iron Almas. And if you try to run like Brian to take the interruption of Lily May, you're weakening your team lineup by too much. Because then you can still get off the Iron Almas combo, but like Brian is a completely wasted slot of a hero just to get off that combo, and then you have limited options to actually clean everything up. And so overall, I don't think it's going to be able to clear this defense. So now for the other ones I want to show you here is there are some other people running different teams. So this player, he is running a similar lineup. Like I mentioned at the beginning, he's running Ludovic rather than the Lily May. And now you're going to see just how powerful, how much healing this opponent has. But the thing with this team lineup is that even though it has a lot of healing, my Tossie is going to be able to solo them at the end. And also, I can just easily bring in Citrana and Bonnie, and Citrana is having no issue surviving, because they don't have like another damage threat like the Lily May, for example. So even though it has more healing, you would think the team would be more overall effective, but it is even less effective, because when the Lily May was in the defense lineup, then if I brought Citrana, she would be at risk of dying early on, or if I brought like if I brought Tossie, then maybe the opponent is going to interrupt my Tossie's ultimate, or they're just going to damage the Tossie and keep proccing your invincibility, not let her cast. So that is why the Lily May was basically better than having the Ludovic. And so that is why running double healer is probably not a good option, because it does make sense. And when you're running on offense, like, I definitely think double healer sometimes is the way to go. Like, we even use double healer to clear the Lily May version of this defense. However, on defense, it is counterable, because then you can just bring out all of your power, all of your firepower, whether it be Citrana and Bonnie together, or whether it be Tossie and Bonnie, and try to solo with the Tossie in the end. Here I did an exact mirror match, because I just wanted to see what would happen, and it is actually kind of even-sided, because there's a big Paragon difference, but it is not... The difference is not as much as you can see right now. So if you're going to mirror match this, you might end up losing, even if you have the Paragon advantage. But as you saw there, the Bonnie nuke was just too powerful, and it was able to burst through the opponent. But yeah. Yeah, so I mean, these are definitely some good defense options you can try, but I think for right now, this is going to be my go-to defense, and I'll update you guys again as soon as someone figures out a way to break through it. But what I'm suspecting is they're going to do Harak. I think they're going to try to break through it with Harak, or they could try to break through it with Citrana Bonnie or Ludovic. Like, yeah, I think they could break through it with Ludovic and Damien double healer on offense, because the issue with this defense team, you're a bit missing out on heals. All your healer is Damien. If Damien is killed and he is not on the field to be providing the heals, you have no healing. And Damien alone isn't the most powerful healer. Ludovic is, though. And so that, I think, is a weakness of this team. If they bring a Harak, or if they bring a Rainier Harak combo, or if they bring double healer, but same version without Lily May, that has an advantage into this team in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see. But basically, this is kind of interesting that like kind of regular arena is counterable kind of no matter what defense lineup you're running. And I think Bonnie really enabled a lot of this, because before Bonnie existed, like the higher Paragon upgrades, you could just go for like the tanky Stroll team, like with the Tossie type Taline combo, or just double healer or things like that. And the opponent is not going to be able to break through you. But with Bonnie, you can break through almost anything now. And that is why she's a really good PvP hero. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. You guys can also test out this defense, or if you have any other PvP teams or defenses, you can feel free to share them. And if you want to talk to me more, ask me any questions, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video and all of my videos. And also there's a link to it on my channel page. And I respond frequently there, so you can ask me any questions you want as well. But thanks for watching guys. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.